welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today's video, we have a lot to dive into. I'm going to tell you about my incredible time at OKC Horror Con in downtown Oklahoma City. This was one for the books. This was one for the ages. Such an amazing weekend. I do apologize. This video is probably about 3 weeks late at this point, but I've just had a lot of personal stuff going on this last week and a half, especially. Some good, some really bad, but I'm not going to get into that. I just wanted to apologize for not having this video ready and immediately available the week after OKC Horror Con. So without further ado, let's get into this video. I'm going to tell you about my amazing weekend at Oklahoma City Horror Con. Saturday did not disappoint. So much fun. Kind of started as a hectic personal, my personal life in the beginning of the day with my wife and stuff, but it evened out really awesome. I actually got to go fly solo for the beginning part of Saturday, which is something I don't get to do very often. I usually always have my son, which is great, by the way, but this was nice. I got to go run down to the convention center. I met up with Spring and his wife, Kristen, the Movies That Make You podcast that I've been a guest on multiple times. One of my favorite families, one of my favorite podcasts. They are just incredible what they do. And if you haven't checked that podcast out, go find it. The link will be in my description, but go check it out. Not just the episodes I was in, go listen to as many as you can because what they're doing with their kids and showing them cinema is fantastic. So go check them out. But we got to go meet up and listen to a few panels on Saturday. They had some amazing panels. Started the day off. I was kind of running late, but we had the Terrifier panel with Jenna, Catherine, and Elliot. Jenna and Catherine were in Terrifier 1, and Elliot is in Terrifier 2 and 3, and hopefully, possibly in 4. We don't know yet. But they had an incredible panel full of just laughs and just a lot of fun. They even commented at how much fun they were having. And they do the Terrifier cast does they do cons and panels and stuff all year long. So for them to say that out loud was really cool. So then we went and hung out downstairs for a little bit, checked out some of the vendor booths, and then ran back upstairs for the Nick Castle panel. And Nick Castle, for those of you who do not know, is the original Michael Myers, or one of the original Michael Myers in John Carpenter's Halloween. And I've met him multiple times, super awesome guy, but I had not been to a panel with him yet. So went and checked out his panel. We were like 2 or 3 rows back in the seats, and really awesome questions. It was kind of crazy. More Last Starfighter questions were asked than Halloween questions, which I found very fascinating. They did announce they're going to make a long-awaited sequel to Last Starfighter, so maybe that had something to do with it. But Nick Castle directed The Last Starfighter, if you've never seen that sci-fi gem. So that was a lot of fun. Learned some cool stuff. Great questions were asked. And immediately following that panel, we had the Scream panel with Jamie Kennedy, Skeet Ulrich, and Lee Waddell. And I am not kidding when I say this was one of the biggest panels I've ever been a part of, or witnessed, I should say. Even counting Texas Frightmare Weekend, like they get some pretty packed houses, but this one was packed to the gills with people. It was a big deal. So we hung out for that one. Spring, one of his favorite movies all time, is the original Scream, and he actually got to ask a question. Really cool. Great question. Really awesome. He actually quoted the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet, one of the quotes from Jamie Kennedy's character, and it like blew Jamie Kennedy's mind. He didn't even know because he was having some weird questions asked towards him, and some shots were taken at him from questions about like Son of the Mask and stuff like that. So I think he was very happy to hear something really cool that someone quoted Romeo and Juliet, which is kind of obscure at this point. So it was really cool. But Jamie Kennedy was hilarious, the whole panel. Um, Half of the questions that were asked were little kids, so like that made him freak out every time a little kid would ask a question. He was like, "Where's your mom?" or "Where's your dad?" They'd raise their hand. He'd be like, have them watch Barney or something, family oriented." And he just was joking the whole time, but it was super funny. Skeet was awesome. He came out into the crowd. Matt Lillard usually does that at panels. They actually come out where the microphone is, where people ask questions. Skeet was like giving everybody a hug until they had to speed it up. Then he kind of cut back on the hugs, but really cool, very fun panel. Lots of laughter, lots of amazing questions about Scream and just getting into the business of acting or stunt work like Lee Waddell has done. And it was very interesting to listen to. So that was really cool. So that was most of what I did Saturday. But then let me finish up what happened at the end of Saturday. So it was winding down. It was probably about an hour and a half left of Saturday for the convention total. And I was waiting for Jess to arrive with our son. She came from a birthday party, so she was running a little bit behind. But I kind of wandered because Spring and Kristen had to head back to Dallas, unfortunately, a little bit earlier, just to beat the traffic and get home to their kids and stuff. So I wandered over by like where the Scream guys were on that side of the convention center. And I just started talking to this woman, and she was a casting director for films and TV, I believe. But they were handing out flyers for casting as extras in a movie called Horrified. It's a horror comedy, and it's just started filming last week in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, at this hotel. And it's a first-time director, Michael Zara. I'm super excited, but I'll do a separate video. But guess who is an extra in a horror comedy? Me. That's right. I went to Broken Arrow last Thursday. I was actually booked they sent me the email from the lady that I met. I applied on their little website or app, and they actually booked me as an extra at for this convention center scene in this hotel. So this movie's got a huge cast: Ron Perlman, Julie Benz. They're also executive producers on it. Doug Jones is in it. There's a bunch of people that are in it, but the day I was filming last week, I'll get into the details in a separate video. Very exciting, but once I can gather all the information, I will do a good video so you guys can get a good description of the movie. But yeah, super exciting. So I went up and was cast as an event staff member at the fake convention in the movie. And there's a couple of scenes that I might be heavily in. So very exciting, including a scene with Julie Benz directly in front of me a few times. So very cool. But I can't wait to tell you guys all about that later on. But really awesome. Glad I ran into that woman. Sunday is always bittersweet because it's the end of the convention, but it's also, you know, you get to rest and all that stuff because it's a busy time doing these conventions all weekend long. So I love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything, but super awesome. So Sunday, my son and I flew solo, just the two of us, and I was gonna come show up later in the afternoon because they were only open until 5 on Sunday. But my dear friend Nicole gave me a heads up. She's done this a few times for me at OKC Horror, but she knows what I'm looking for, and she sends me stuff and says, "Hey, it's here at this vendor booth." So all weekend long, I was walking around looking for a Terrifier 3 poster last minute because I, slacked, and the posters I found weren't going to get here in time for me to take. So I mainly wanted to start a Terrifier 3 cast poster. And Elliot Fulham, who's in Terrifier 2 and 3, he was there, and Spencer Charnas from Ice Nine Kills, the lead singer of Ice Nine Kills, who did the music video work of art for Terrifier 3, was also there. And he hosts his own horror con on the East Coast. So it was a big deal that he was at OKC Horror, I thought. Um, Silver Scream is his con on the East Coast. I would love to go to that one day. But anyway, he was there. Elliot was there. And so my friend Nicole sent me a picture that she found a Terrifier 3 poster, 11 by 17, not too big, not too small. So my son and I rushed down there. I got it, went to Spencer's table first because he kept all weekend long kind of getting up and leaving his table. And I wasn't sure if he was gonna. I knew he had a panel that afternoon, so I didn't want to miss him. So met Spencer, really cool. Got to tell him about a couple of my buddies back in Denver who went to their show. They opened up for Metallica again, but they were at the show, and it was Limp Bizkit, Ice Nine Kills, and Metallica, which is an insane lineup. But I told them about how they were big fans. They were there, and he said they're coming to OKC pretty soon, his band, to play. So he was promoting, which is always cool as a band member. So um, I met him, and then I went directly over to Elliot's table. And Elliot is such a cool young man. And what I love is his dad is his vendor like agent. Now I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I got signed. So the first thing I'm going to show you guys is actually something I got signed last year um, at Texas Frightmare Weekend, but there was a little issue when I met Skeet at Texas Frightmare Weekend last year. I was the last person that he met, and he had signed a bunch of stuff. And the con was closing down, or they were taking vendor booths down, and then they had the Scream Q&A and screening of Scream at Alamo Draft House next door. Directly after that, like a couple hours after that, so they, Matt Lillard and Skeet had to get over there for that. So I usually bring my own paint pens, like I told you in the tutorial video. I had my paint pen with me, and we got talking to Ski, my buddy and and I didn't have him use my paint pen. So his that he used when he signed my screen poster was a little worn down and faded already. And so the autograph from Skeet just kind of went away. It was not very dark. You couldn't really see it. So I just bought another autograph selfie combo, and then Jess got to use the selfie with Skeet because she really wanted to meet him because he's a handsome lad. But I had him sign over his autograph from last year, and he obliged, and he was super nice about it. I felt kind of weird asking him to do that just because it seems kind of disrespectful, but like he's super chill, so it was cool. So anyway, I meant to show this off from Texas Frightmare Weekend last year, but I will show it off now. So this is a Scream poster, and it is signed by Matt Lillard, Roger L. Jackson, who is the original voice of Ghostface. He's been the voice of Ghostface for most of the franchise. He's also Mojo Jojo on Powerpuff Girls. This is Jamie Kennedy, and he put character name Randy. And they actually, most of them all put character names too. So we got Stu, Matt Lillard. I met David Arquette last year, so he signed it Dewey. And then here's Skeets, and it looks so much better. It was faded, it was super bad, which is another reason why I have not shown this off yet. Huge shout out to my friends CSR Collectibles. I actually got this poster, it was already JSA authenticated with Roger Jackson's autograph on the bottom already. And then I was going to add to it, so they really helped me out. So I'm just adding to my screen poster, but and the big person, if you guys watched my tutorial video on bringing your stuff to get signed at conventions or sending them in, obviously the huge name that it was number one this year at OKC Horror was Mr. Doug Bradley Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies. You guys saw Rob, Frog Pop Fanatic. He is a die-hard Hellraiser fan, and I got him a pop signed by Doug Bradley with a quote, um, and it turned out fantastic. But really exciting. Rob actually sent me a extra Hellraiser pop that he had, and so I actually ended up getting three autographs from Doug Bradley, and the third one is very special and very cool, very unique. I love it, and I'll get to that in just a sec. But first, I'm going to show you the pop that I got. So here's the pinhead pop, and Doug signed it in red. It's really cool. It's him holding the puzzle box. But I told you guys in the other video that I forgot until I got home. I didn't see that he didn't put the Pinhead character name in white. That would have looked really cool, but still, nonetheless, very cool. A very rare pop. And Doug doesn't sign as much anymore, but he's really cool. This next Doug Bradley autograph, I showed you guys in the tutorial video. I actually ordered a poster from Mintage Authentics, another great company. You guys should check out if you're into collecting autographs. They do a lot of consignments. They're actually going to be the official autograph partner for a couple of conventions coming up, so check that out. But they had a Clive Barker signed Hellraiser poster, Beckett authenticated, and I was able to add Doug Bradley to that. So this is really cool. I can't wait to get this framed. Doug's autograph on here just looks so shiny and good. So the third and final autograph from Doug Bradley, like I said a second ago, is very, very special. So Rod and his incredible crew, they did something super special. Mark Patton, who is the lead actor from Nightmare on Elm Street 2, he's very, very sick. He actually lives in Mexico now, and he's got a lot of medical bills, but he can't travel, and he makes a living off going to conventions and meeting his fans and hanging out. And I met him a couple years ago, and he's such a sweetheart. We've talked on Instagram here and there, and Rod did something really cool. So the banners that they make for all the celebrities behind their tables when you walk up to them, um, Rod he does a silent auction every year, but this year's auction, he donated all the money to Mark Patton's GoFundMe that has been going on, to help support him in his time of need because he's very ill. So really awesome banners. They looked great. Um, I think a lot of people didn't know that the auction was going on after Sunday when the convention ended, because I got upstairs at 5 p.m. when they said it started, and it was just a couple crew members and a few women who were really nice, who were down here from Pryor, Oklahoma. They drove kind of far to get to the con, so we all just hung out. They said that the thing was going to go till 7, so it went for about 2 hours up in a conference room at the convention center, and they had all the banners laid out and pieces of paper. And Susanna Malik from Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, her and I have become good friends now. She was so sweet to my son all weekend. She was one of the guests, and she's a dear friend of Rod. So she was hanging out in the room pretty much the whole time, and so making us laugh. And then right about the 30 minutes left mark, is when a couple people started showing up, and it got kind of heavy bidding towards the end there. But I was able to secure a winning bid for Doug Bradley, and I got his banner, and it's already hung up on my ceiling. I don't know if you guys can see that, but he autographed it right there, and it's a sweet banner, just really cool, and it went to a good cause. So I'm so happy to have that in my collection. It's unlike any autograph that I have in my collection, so it looks really great. I got it for an amazing price, but it also goes to Mark Patton in his time of need. So very cool. OKC Horror, you guys are awesome. What an awesome gesture. Rod and your crew, thank you guys so much for another amazing year, your biggest one yet. cannot wait for Tulsa Horror Con in November. If you live in Oklahoma or in Texas or close by to Tulsa, definitely check out Tulsa Horror Con in November. Tickets right now are on sale. They're discounted pretty much all the way up until the weekend of the actual convention. But Rod's just doing bigger and bigger things at his conventions, and I could not be more stoked for him and his crew and his family. So um, I'm super excited to see what next year's OKC Horror Con holds. I am just overwhelmed with joy at seeing my channel just spike the last couple months out of nowhere. Um, and you guys, even the stuff you don't like to watch on my channel, there's a lot of stuff you do like, and I'm here for whatever you guys want to see. Just let me know. Leave comments on videos, even if it has nothing to do with it. Let me know, maybe stuff you don't like as much. That's not gonna bother me. But I want to know what you guys want to see, so just leave that stuff in the comments. Today's video, leave a comment if you're going to any conventions this year. Um, we're a little bit past the halfway point, so there's still a lot of cons coming up. Let me know what your favorite horror movie is, or what your favorite horror item was that I showed you today. And as always, I cannot say thank you enough to each and every one of you. So smash that like button, hit subscribe, and we will catch you all later.